In this video, I will be showing you how to install Arch Linux as the main operating system on your computer. Arch is a highly customizable Linux distribution that provides a clean, minimal base, allowing you to customize the OS from the ground up. Now before we begin, you want to make sure that you have both a computer that you want Arch to be installed on, as well as a thumb drive to flash the Arch ISO file onto. The first step in this process will be to navigate to the official Arch Linux website linked below and select Downloads. Listed below will be a bunch of mirror sites. To ensure the best results, pick your current or surrounding country to download from. For me, I will be downloading from kernel.org within the United States section. Within the index, you will select the ISO file that matches your computer specs. In my case, this will be the second link listed. Next, you will need to navigate to the following website and download Balenia Etcher. This application will be used to flash the ISO to our thumb drive. Within Balenia, we will click the Flash from File button and choose the Arch Linux ISO we previously downloaded. Afterwards, we will ensure that the USB drive is selected and click Flash. Typically, this does take some time, so just let this run out until Balenia tells you the flash is complete. After this is complete, if you are on a separate computer, you will want to take the thumb drive out and put it into the device that you wish to install Arch Linux on. When booting up the target device, you'll want to enter the boot menu on the device. The button to get into this menu will vary upon your computer, however typically it will either be F12, F11, F8, or the escape key to enter the boot menu. Once we're in the boot menu, we will want to select our USB drive that we previously flashed Arch onto. Now if you get the following errors such as me, this is because Secure Boot is enabled on your device. To disable this, you'll want to go into your device's BIOS menu and turn off Secure Boot. For me, the option given is to enable legacy support and disable Secure Boot, so that is what I'll choose. Once finished, ensure that you save your settings and head back to the boot menu. This time when we select our USB drive, we should be brought to the following screen. Here we will select the first option listed. This will trigger a few events, so do not touch your device until the terminal pops up. Now that we are in the terminal, make sure that your device is connected to the internet via LAN cable, as this is pretty much the easiest method. To test your internet connection, you can type ping.google.com into the terminal. You will know this was successful if you receive pings or packets back from Google. Since this can go on forever, make sure that you click Ctrl+C to stop the ping. Next, we will type Arch install. This will then send us into Arch's configuration menu. From here, we will first navigate to the mirror and repositories. Within, you'll want to select your mirror region. For me, this will be the United States. Afterwards, we'll click the disk configuration where we will partition our disk. I suggest using this first option if this is your first install. On this page, you'll want to select the disk that you want to partition. Just as a side note, make sure you're not selecting the USB drive that we used to boot into this. As for file system, I will be going with the ext4 as this is kind of the gold standard when it comes to Linux file systems. Now you can choose to create a separate partition for home, however, if this is your first install and you're new to this, you'll want to keep it simple and just say no for this option. You'll also want to check out the bootloader option. For me, I'm going with systemd boot, however, if you plan to have something like a dual boot setup, then you'll probably want to use something like grub. Under authorization, we will first set up the root password for the system. Then, just to make sure that you're not always using root, I would suggest creating at least one user profile. Likewise, just make sure that you make this user a super user so that way you can have access to sudo. Next, we'll go into profile type. I will select desktop since this is how I'm using Arch. Here we'll list a wide variety of user interfaces you can choose from. I would suggest doing a little research on your own on this topic to ensure that you pick a UI that fits you. If you want a good default option, I would just choose KDE Plasma, such as I'm doing. Now if you want, you can also go into Applications and under Audio, choose Pipewire. For network configurations, we will choose the first option and copy the ISO network config to install. Finally, we will finish up by setting your time zone. Alright, before we officially finish up, feel free to go back and make any additional tweaks to this menu, but for now, we can leave everything default and click install. Here, we'll just need to confirm the installation one last time by selecting yes. Once the install is complete, we will now want to select Reboot System to solidify the changes and boot into the Arch Linux UI. This may take some time, so just be patient while your device runs the configurations. Awesome, we are now brought to the user login page. To log in, you'll want to use the username and password for the user that you previously created. And just like that, we have officially installed Arch Linux on our device and logged into the UI. With that, I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.